Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Garage. It's July 5th, 2024, and I am working on the brakes on my truck. You guys recall I did put a new axle in the back there to replace that HO52. And while I was at it, I added 13-inch rotors and twin 2-inch piston calipers. And that turned out to be way too much brake. Tends to lock up on me in a panic stop. So I decided, well, I'm gonna have to add a pressure reduction. Well, to do that, I added in this BAER proportioning valve right here. Let's see if I can get a better look at that for you. The simple little bracket comes off these factory screws. It's just 14 gauge and just goes in line. I put a little bit of a bend right in there. But this comes right out of the factory proportioning valve. These two valves are in series, and that compounds the action, right? Kind of magnifies it as far as the horizontal line that kicks over. And then I remade this line here all the way down to the first block, which happens to be just right down here on the cross member. Right down there somewhere is where that ends up. So it's not very long, maybe 3 feet. When you put these things in, you want to make sure that this port here is at least, when you got a level in here, down around this. Mine's a little bit higher. Mine, if you look, the level goes right about the bottom of the bowl here. It's about here. That's good enough. If you put it up too high, you know, if you put it way up here, you could have it drain back into the bowl. Let me go show you the curves, because I did plot the curves of the combination of this valve plus this valve in line, because I wanted to predict that before I did all this to make sure it was going to work the way I thought it was. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Okay, here we are. I'm a picture man. I like pictures. You know, I do the numbers too. But here's the picture of it, and this is the factory valve. And like I said, I put gauges in the brake ports in order to plot all this out. And it looks like the factory valve goes up to about 400 psi, and then it starts reducing the pressure at about 33% of whatever this is out here. Anyway, that's factory valve. And then I said, well, okay, what about if we just use a single adjustable BAER valve? Well, if I set it down to 200, then yeah, we'll have a reduction here. You know, we're going to look at 1,000 psi. That's kind of what I'm basing this on. So that's pretty good, but I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably still not enough. And so I thought, well, we'll just put these two in series and see what we do. So the first thing, well, it'll follow the front brakes up to 200, and then it'll kick over at this ratio right here. And then the front proportioning valve will start coming in at 400 psi, and it'll add that into the equation, and then that lays over. And as you can see over here at 10, we were down to 330 versus 464. So putting those two in series really makes a big drop. All right, I'm just going to taking it up to about 40, 45 here. Get it up there. I'm just going to jump on it. Oh, there we go. So that's not too bad. That's pretty good, actually. But I don't feel like I have control over it because I'm clear at the end of the adjustment on the proportioning valve. Why is this thing so tight? There we go. Got me to thinking, man, maybe there's some smaller piston calipers out there, and I found these 1.743 piston calipers for a Chevy Express, 7,300 pound capacity. These are the pistons for the pickup, and 7,300 pound capacity. You can see they're 2-inch, and these are 1 3/4. And that combined with this proportioning valve right here gives me an 80-20 bias, or up to an 80-20 bias, which ought to do it for a pickup, right? Because pickup's so heavy on the front end, that's about what you need, somewhere between 75 and 80. Hey guys, I got the Chevy Express van calipers put on, and oh, by the way, these are, I think you can only use the 2003 to 2006, and this is the light duty, very light duty. I got a little bit smaller pistons. They're 2 pistons. And these 1 3/4, and there's the original, the one, you know, the Chevy pickup caliper, and it's got 2-inch pistons in it. See, it's a little bit different than this guy. All right, can you see that? And but that's the good news. It fits on there in the same place, occupies the same, you know, offset, and uses the same rotor. One nice thing about this, guys, is I took off my 1/4-inch spacers and my wheels clear. It was hitting right here, but with these smaller van calipers, they don't hit anymore. So I was able to get rid of that spacer I had on here. Where is that thing? I don't know. And so you won't have to use long studs if you go this way to begin with. I already got the longer studs in here, so well, I guess I'm keeping them. But yeah, that's all good news. It's working out. There's that spacer that I took out. It's 1/4-inch thick. Just had that laser cut, but I don't have to use it anymore, and that's great because it allows my wheel to be hub centric instead of lug nut centric. So that's all great, and doesn't hit anything. That's great. Awesome. All right, I get this thing adjusted in 4 turns with the new calipers. Let's jump on it. Oh, that's pretty good. It kind of locked up, but not really. Just about where I want it, really. I've already done this once with it in 3 turns in, and I couldn't get them to lock up at all. So I do have control over it at this point. So I'm gonna call that finished on these brakes, guys. Seems like they're working okay. That's it for Brian's Garage. We'll talk to you later.